more Leviathan. Tomorrow, most likely the last video, last part of Don's Canto in Limbus Company, by the way. Book 14, Reflected Worlds. As the sound of rifts echoed through the laboratory, the children inside the machines began to spit out unintelligible things, screams and painful wails. I'm not gonna ASMR this. Stop, please. I don't want to see. I'm looking into myself. I couldn't understand what the last utterance meant. It was evident that with the myriad of scenes that have unfolded in a flash before my eyes, at the center of them, all was my back. So, if you experience yourself in mirror worlds, you're seeing yourself from a third person though? Wouldn't that disconnect yourself from the happening? Weird. It was quite strange looking at countless versions of myself from behind. Though it wasn't terror I felt, the sight was rather tranquil in fact. Perhaps a more apt way to put it would be that I was unsure of what emotion to feel. I'm sure that's different from the regular person. The regular person is actually, as we can tell from the cries and wailing earlier, terrified. Maybe he doesn't feel this way because he's a genuinely good person though. Very rare in the city. Then all the visions twist, flip, split and waver until everything begins to overlap. My multitudes occupying or being placed in the space turn around to look at me. My eyes meet one of the dozens, hundreds, thousands of my other selves. It might be his that met mine. So wait, you recognizing yourself in alternative mirror worlds is like a timeline spanning, defining event that happens at all times then? And at the moment's notice the scenery has faded away, as though claimed by a bottomless chasm. Maybe I'm interpreting too much into this. I vanished into the tremor. Bonk. ... I was on my knees, wailing in the midst of heavy rain. The storm in my heart raged with such fury that the downpour couldn't compare, and my despair grows grimy and sodden in the rain. Why am I crying out here? I was a member of the streetlight office, an unremarkable one with unimpressive pay and lack of fame. In other words, it was a job I had no reason to be attached to. Then one day we were invited to a place called the library, and lost lapis there while I survived. We left you behind as it became part of the library's collection. Oh, you stupid idiot, why? Wait a second, that's Lulu! Let me Google that. Oh my god, I can't type. Sorry, it's just if you type Lulu Library of Arena, some of the results actually kind of cringe. Just saying. Oh, one of the results is literally my thumbnail. As I was saying, right? Okay, let me open this graphic and let me give you a visual again. It's Lulu. It's literally... Oh no, they redrew it. It's different. Oh man, okay, that's kind of nice. I mean, they took the image, drew it again. I don't know if it's the same artist or not. Lulu, obviously, like one of my favorite moments in Library of Arena, and one of the characters I remember very fondly because the individual hurt and suffering and the disregard of everything surrounding them, and the fact that it's on a scale, it's just so minuscule, right? But for this person, they lost everything. That was great. That was great. It doesn't always have to be like huge wars with millions of people dying or something, right? For you to feel something. Sometimes the emotions of a single person genuinely feeling despair and suffering is just enough to make you go, oh, that's nice, right? It's a weird way to explain it, but I think you know what I mean. Maybe that's why Philip didn't quite hit me as hard later on. Philip suffered as well, but Philip, like, he done goofed too, right? He fucked up a few times along the way. He could have prevailed if he had awakened ego fully, but then Carmen came along and ruined everyone's day, which is, at this point, that's like a daily happening. Anyway, back to Leviathan. I hope that it wasn't Lapis who'd replaced the cake in the fridge. I remember that one time on a rainy day like this one, I got into a fight with Lapis over something small. I was so heated by a mocking tone, I was on the verge of raising my fist. When I simmered down a little, I noticed that she was holding an umbrella over my head as she kept replying to my grumbles in the same sassy tone. The streetlight always stands solemnly, shining down in the dark. Letting it gently illuminate the lurching waves of my heart would often help me calm down. It made it my wish to be like you, shining ever more brightly in the dark. I have to get Lapis's book from the library. That's what I can do for a while I poured out feelings I couldn't quite describe in the rain, and the light shining down on me gradually dimmed before eventually fizzling out. My surroundings blur again like raindrops running along a window. The me and the scenery casts its gaze upon me to meet my eyes. I don't try to avoid my glare. More dots. Director, how could this even be considered tolerable? The outcry of someone breathing heavily from uncontained emotions reached my ears. As I looked around, upon hearing the unfamiliar title, a desk piled high with papers caught by. I felt it was rather a friendly side, and with that the feeling of unfamiliarity dissolved like spoon? What the fuck is a spoon? I took a deep breath. My men are too easily upset at this immediate injustice. Let's see who he is this time. Too eager to argue against it with logic at such small things, at such insignificant things. The southern branch of the Shi Association was rotten to the core. Wait, he's a Shi? I don't think it would be good enough for the Shi. I aim to excise each and every trace of the corruption taking hold of this organization, but I still had work to do. Though I haven't had proper sleep for 10 days, this was not yet the time for rest. I could only say this. I want you to suppress your feelings and remind yourself money, fame and power rule over this world. True, actually genuinely true. I thought about the fixes of partnered officers whom I heard were all killed off. The Section 3 director had summoned me one day to demand straight away that I report what I'm up to. When I replied that I plan to fix what is broken, they pulled out a pack of cigarettes and burned through it in one sitting. Why that person decided to help with the cause was beyond me. They swore they'd retire next year too. As a matter of fact, we might face annihilation ourselves if we are not careful. Or worse, we might already be on the way down. I wonder what look will be on Velma's face when he hears of Section 4's demise. Velma, obviously, the person that ratted out the entire Shi, or like pretty much was in cahoots with Argalia, right, if I remember correctly, but then got like discarded themselves. It was my job to harden up my subordinates and assure them that we're almost through the crises. I should tell them with unwavering confidence. However, being confident and having to be confident were two different matters. I had to ensure that everything I did wasn't a fool's errand. I must see to it that this is not to be a dead end for my men. To ease his troubled mind, I turned to look out the window. Then a gust of wind blew outside, turning the world upside down once more. My eyes meet another's. The broiling heat wakes me up at dawn. Is this the loo? Broiling heat. Maybe someone lying next to Zhao. The weak breeze produced by my decrepit fan does little to dry off the beads of sweat trickling down my back. I had to be up by 6 in the morning anyway. I got a decent post at the local library, and I could avoid the attention of my landlord by leaving at this time of day. He forgave me with a generous smile when I couldn't meet rent for 2 months, but his understanding of juvenility turned into clamorous demands once he noticed my overdue rent would continue to grow for another month or two. I could use some cash. I keep writing and erasing text messages. Cash was my baddest. Living in a rural area, my parents don't know how pricey things are in a big city. They think I've taken a midnight shift to make myself some extra money, but they don't know how hard it is to cover the gas, water and electricity bills for my cramped lodging, on top of food, travel and all the other little things. Get out of the city. Get out of the city. Or like, I don't know, kill yourself. They were reassured by their son that his academic excellence as the top of his class would put him and his family on the road to luxury, but they didn't know that I applied for a lesser university to secure scholarships. They don't know that I had to take a semester off to make a living, or that I was busy flying from table to table serving customers at a barbecue restaurant, while others were busy flying in and out of the country, building international experience and studying abroad. In and out of the country, that's not something that sounds like something happening in the city. Also, flying? Do we have planes in the city? I wanted to know where it all went wrong, but with everything taken together, there's only one conclusion to make. I was the one who tried and failed to qualify for the jobs. It must have been my lack of effort that got me rejected. If only I'd slept just a little less than I did. If only I'd bought one fewer piece of clothing. If only I hadn't gotten my hands on different food because I got sick of instant ramen. If only I didn't have to study less and work more to make up for the hole it made in my balance. If only I didn't let temptation get the better of me. It's because I wasn't good enough. I wasn't trying hard enough. I stepped outside to get some fresh air and gazed at the sky. When I was asked one time about what kind of person I desired to be as a kid during a job interview, I'd wanted to say, I wish I could be rich enough to make a hot bath in winter. It was enough for me. The interviewer didn't seem to agree though. I should get another job. I get up at 4 every morning. I ran my fingers looking up job openings on my phone. I ran my fingers. Looking for gym receptionist. I guess. I mean, is that a good job to have? I literally don't know. My eyes caught a good enough offer. You can't find a part-time job that pays this much for these hours anyway. Oh yeah, I guess like some gyms are open 24/7, right? I might even find time to study during the shift if I asked the owner nicely. I was immersed in such thoughts under the blazing sunlight. Kia! Oh shit. Yeah, I guess there are planes. But in the city? Was he suddenly in the real world or something? Like, are they making the real world canon? And I just didn't know. I might have been too caught up in my thoughts to notice. I mean, this plane is very close, right? That's the problem here. I might have been too caught up in my thoughts to notice the terrified screams and people fleeing in chaos. I thought that the shadow cast over me was a cloud or something. It was a particularly large and dark shadow, but I didn't find it strange. When I looked up again, a plane came into my sight. It was flying far lower than usual. It looked as if it was about to plunge into the ground. If he's here and the plane is already above him, if the plane is not falling straight down on like a y-axis, he's fine. He's fine. If it's this far above him still, it's gonna be far enough away before he's caught up in it. Planes are fast, man. Anyway, it's not what it sounds like. I couldn't seem to recall the last time I saw that thing called an airplane fly above the city. It is the city. Is this the first mention of like aeroplanes in the city? Why are people still using the fucking trains if there's planes? What is happening inside the planes that the rich and famous don't rather use the first class ticket of the trains? I guess time, right? And if they have the guarantee that in the first class nothing happens, but it happened twice now, right? It happened twice that the first class got like fucked. Anyway, more importantly, I can't tell for sure if I knew what an airplane was in the first place. Where am I anyway? What district of the city did I think I was in? Okay, this is chaos. This is chaos for him, right? Because he thinks he's in the city, but he's not in the city. He doesn't know what a plane is. He's seeing a plane for the first time. What district of the city did I think I was in? A wave of nausea rises in me as the strangeness of myself existing in this foreign place as if I always belonged here becomes apparent. But all the confusion is useless now. Try as I might, there's no way I can outrun that massive bird of steel. Again, actually, the massive bird of steel is gonna fly fast enough for you to be out of danger immediately. I can tell from this feeling. It's a race I'm doomed to lose, much like my struggle against poverty. In the end, I can't escape the explosion that the plane will cause, crashing into the street. All because I was too slow, I was too incapable. I should have taken out life insurance. When I came home every winter, I would see my father's back as he carried the cauldron of water he boiled with our barely functioning gas stove. It was the last image that flashed in my mind. In the blow of hot wind, everything went dark. Before I can realize it, my eyes come into contact with yet another eye, and the world shimmers once again. This was the real world, wasn't it? Next up is a genuine article presented by Master Garnet himself, an orange gemstone processed out of carnelian, a subject procured from an orphanage in District 22. Oh my god, is he a member of the Pinky in this one? A voice coming from the side opened my eyes. An orphanage? Carnelian was a shy kid who would only nod or shake hands instead of speaking up. But when we were alone, I was taught how to whistle with grace. I take a moment to examine myself. I'm wearing clothes only members of the ring wear. Ring, not Pinky, sorry, ring. Next to me is an auctioneer excitedly following raised hands and chanting bits. I'm at a gallery's auction. Yeah, we have 3 million on. That gentleman over there put up 4 million. Yes, we're now at 5 million. Will anyone give me more? Bang! And there we have it. A deal at 5 million now. Congratulations. The strike of the gavel brought me back to reality. I could finally take a close look at the item placed at the auctioneer's side. You are gems, and you must discover that you will possess unparalleled beauty if you keep cutting and polishing yourselves. I was reminded of the lesson my teacher would preach time and time again. Teacher? Have you been to a seminar at one of the galleries? The word should have been well known to me, but it's bothering that it occurred to me in an unfamiliar scene. It mattered little, though, compared to this jewel before my eyes. So beautiful. Oh yeah, I was about to say, please give me an image. Oh, that is a good image. Fuck, I wish they would just double down on the development of visual novels. Fucking hell, man. Fuck the manga format, fuck the web novel format, fuck like the half-baked stuff that is Limbus. Because I don't think anyone in their right mind even enjoys the gameplay part of that. Just give a straight up story, please. Just give us like a well-written, 100% focus on the story part of what is happening. Obviously with good visuals and good audio as well, as they have been doing so far. Lots of CGs. If they don't need to program any of the like gameplay stuff, they can just fucking hire 20 more artists or something. Or like, I don't know. Just give me like a proper visual novel experience, please. There's one thing in life I ask for actually from Project Moon, I guess, because there's more things I'd have, but anime girls can't be real. But from Project Moon, please, the distortion detective visual novel. And maybe, like, I don't know, another, like, just give me some random fucking fixes going on, like, missions, and make that into a visual novel. I don't know. The gemstone, sorry for like, it's gotta be a rant in there somewhere, right? I'm recording a video after all. The gemstone glistened with brilliant red hue reminiscent of sunset. My eyes filled with ecstatic delight upon beholding its luster. The mystifying and magnificent colors exhibited only by trapping the rough gem in extreme heat and pressure, until every aspect they possess has been compressed into a single point. I can picture the process vividly in my head. I can almost sense the aesthetics of cruelty at the descent of this precious stone. I want to see more. What splendor will a gem of greater size show me? Now that I think about it, a friend by the name of Aqua had clear blue eyes resembling an ocean vibrant with life. If I can have a gem holding that color, if there's a way to make it. Oh my God, is he implying that he's gonna pressurize people into gems? No! I shook my head with in immediate denial of the thought I just had. Wait, what did they call this thing again? An article presented by Master Garnet himself. Anyway. No, I shook my head in immediate denial of the thought I just had, but it was no use. There was no hiding that I considered how to process my friends into luxury items just seconds ago, as if I was willing to carry it out as soon as I had the method. That in turn makes me wonder how I came up with the idea of processing friends. Have I ever had a friend named Aqua? Before that, I can't be sure if I ever had friends at all. Nothing is clear. Am I suffering from some kind of hallucination? Blurry memories of unknown origins are trying to obstruct my vision and judgment. Huh. I could no longer find the reason for the tears that were flowing from my eyes. Love that trope. Of course, it would seem Master Garnet has been touched by the recognition of the true value of his artwork. The auctioneer glamorized my tears as the signs of overflowing gratitude shed by a moved artist. As revolting as it is, I can't say that it's wrong. I adored this gem more than anyone, yet I loathed it at the same time. Why? Why do I loathe this beautifully yet melancholic piece of work? Melancholic? What about this gem evokes such a feeling in me? Wasn't processing a friend the most rapturous part of making jewelry? And so he actually already did it. No, that is no friend. It's a gem, an uncut gem. What's red, right? Lapis is blue. Or like bluish green, right? This lapis lazuli. It's his color. It's garnet. Well, right? Garnets are like red? I don't know. Anyway, why are these odd memories invading my mind? Keep it together, Maestro. Fuck, this might be the best Leviathan chapter we've had so far. I love this. I love these visions of like different worlds. Before I knew it, the crowd murmurs, applauds, and all the other noises tormenting my ears ceased. eyes send a piercing glare towards me from the cracked window. Pointing hands extend from sleeves belonging to different clothes, and mouths move in unison to speak one word. Garnet. Well, what is this? What is this one referencing to? Someone tell me, please, what this is. This is ominous. I stumbled trying to... Oh, there's an image coming. I stumbled trying to regain my balance. The lamp was in my sight again. He's back. It felt as if only a fraction of a second had passed, but simultaneously I felt like I had just gone through multitudes of decades in different lives. The tubes have gone quiet, not a voice is heard. I peek into the machines to find out the truth behind the stillness. Ugh. I guess everyone's fucked or something. Inside I find friends wrapped in some sort of translucent membrane, twitching irregularly. They were curled up like fetuses waiting to be birthed anew, rejecting all interference, yearning to return to that primal state. Just as I was overcome with vertigo and sickness, the world shifted yet again. A foul performance relentlessly stabs me. Thousands of notes penetrate the body, echoing through the whole nest. All city dwellers stand in place, taking in the tidal waves of music. Is he being killed by the pianist or something? Oh shit, he's Roland? Oh, wait, what? No. What? Wait, how can this be? Surely there must be some rules to like who they are or what they do in like alternative mirror worlds. Maybe there's no. Maybe the actual rule is that there's roles. Someone always has to play the role of what Roland did. Because I do believe I remember in Heathcliff's chapter, wasn't he also depicted as like Roland together with Angelica or something? And like obviously Catherine was Angelica. So in the mirror world where he is Roland, Roland must be someone else then. Obviously, like everyone's a different person in a different mirror world. But that makes me wonder, like, what kind of concept of spirituality is there that the people are the same? They also die at different times because he died in a different mirror world, but is still alive in another one. And Heathcliff was going around killing different Heathcliffs in other mirror worlds. So one of them dying doesn't kill off everyone. It's kind of, man, the rules are wonky. We haven't established them yet, and I don't think we might ever will, but this is great. Burning anguish swells in my heart. It's too hot for me to try and hold it. What lies before my eyes is beyond all belief. It hurts to look. Perhaps this is the kind of occasion that brings a person to bloody tears. Why do I have to be robbed of my mundane happiness the instant I find it? Why was the passion I bought crispier than ever today? Sorry, Lapis. I was too late. Wouldn't this also imply that he's harboring romantic feelings for Lapis too? Yes, yeah. I can see it. I remember you saying that you were a fan of the streets of music, so it would be okay. This tragedy could have been avoided had I found a way for us to move into a nest. The piano had long since ceased, but its sound still stings me. Maybe the performance has never ended in my heart. I'm going to live the rest of my life in regret for this moment, staring at you in helplessness, having become part of the performance, drenched in notes of blood raining from above. This silence. This hell. ... My knees dropped to the ground, my legs fully bent. It didn't hurt. I'm once again touching the cold floor of the laboratory. Dozens of worlds come crashing in and then sweep away in waves. In one instant, I was a fix at streetlight office who had just lost his co-worker. In another, I was a director at Shi Association sending its fixes to doom. I was a poverty-stricken job seeker in an unrecognizable metropolis. This confirms the existence of... Either the city could have been so fucking different that we're moving along timelines that are not converging, but the difference, like they're like spreading so far apart that everything is different, right? It's not just it is not like it's not along like an axis, and we have like 20 timelines and they're all incredibly similar to each other, but like the people are shifting places. In another world, the city is completely different. In another timeline, in another mirror world. It's the first and only time I hear of that, though. What if you just pull... What if you, in Limbus, you just pull, like, Office Worker X identity and it's just a regular dude and he has, like, 20 HP and he dies immediately? That would be kind of funny. Anyway, I was a director at Shi Association sending in its fixes to doom. I was a poverty-stricken job seeker in an unrecognizable metropolis, a master of the ring, absorbed in beauty, a fixer who faced the tragic loss of his whole family. He didn't mention the one where they all say one thing, Garnet. If that even was like a separate instance. Anyway, I do believe it was. The despair all my selves carried was unbearably torturous, and I felt the urge to turn my eyes away from everything and take refuge at the edge of the world. But that wasn't to be. There's still too much that remains for me to neglect and hide from. Even though the memories I experienced were harrowing, the pain I felt was proof of the love I held. I see that even if all is fated to disappear without a trace one day, there are so many things that shine while the moment is in your hands. That crossing this vast, harsh wilderness is not an insufferable task thanks to the patches of flowers I find along the way. Is he awakening ego right now? Isn't this what awakening ego would feel like? That was a scent my friends deserve to perceive. They were not meant to be forsaken to such fate in a place like this. Wow. It's like merging. Could there be an argument be made that like awakening ego is like accepting all of yourself, and all of yourself is literally all of yourself, even in other worlds? Is this what's going on here? Fuck, this is a good chapter. If this chapter had come earlier, I would have consumed all of Leviathan way faster, I think. Saying that, I do think we only have time for one chapter today, but like, I could see myself making this a regular thing until we hit the end of this. There's only 20 chapters, I believe. Splendid, simply splendid, Garnet. Your sanity is intact at such a high refraction rate. Ah, I heard Jamsoon's voice through the window. I must pull Mr. Strahd out of his chamber and put you in there. You were the brightest gem all along. That mesmerized look I'm sure had at one point in one reflection is severely responsive. It was the most disgusting pair of eyes out of all those refracted that I saw over the window. I've seen many pitiable, desolate and sorrowful eyes up to now, but that was the one I can't stand. Even a minute's brush of eye contact could engulf me in an uncontrollable fury. The experimental data is almost complete, just a tiny bit more and I can perfect it at last. The glass window. So remember, engrave those moments in your memory. My pain will be forged into a knife that will cut through your heart. My own guilt combined with the guilt pouring in from my friends laid inside the machines. When I find the determination to keep these feelings with me, rather than try to shake them off, I realize now that although my body is in complete disorder, my mind is able to confront it directly. That's ego. That's ego, isn't it? You. And now I declare, adjusting my half-crumpled mask, feeling the silence that has shrouded me in darkness radiate outward. He's donning all identities at once. You'll die by my hands, in the most painful way imaginable. Fuck, let me kneel down. Let me actually fucking I'm kneeling. I'm kneeling on it. Dude is freaking absolutely fucking he is right up there. It's like a character. I cannot believe it. He is actually better than every single Limbus character. Whoa, this chapter alone. This determination, this sentence. You'll die by my hands in the most painful way imaginable. Like getting revenge immediately upon being thrust into the myriads of mirror worlds, and instead of despairing, he just goes and tanks it all, and it's now gonna fuck up Jamsoon, hopefully, in the next chapter, which we're gonna read soon, if you want me to. Oh, this is so good. Oh, fuck yes, yes, yes. I'm sure not only I, but all of you need more of this. Soonish, guys, soonish. Tomorrow I hope I'll early on find the time to record and edit what I believe to be the last Limbus fight in Counter 7. And if it's too much, if it's too long, you're gonna get it on like, Tuesday. I know it's not quite Project Moon week because I skipped yesterday, but the stream went on for too long. I have other stuff to do. It's not my job to be a YouTuber, you know. I don't make any money from this actually, really. But I love it. I enjoy it. It's moments like these where I read something and I am fully immersed, and it makes me go, "Wow, really." That make it all worth it. I think make it all worth it. Bye everyone. Bye bye.